I think because I knew the twist, I wasn't as into it as I may have been if I'd come to it sort of without any prior knowledge of it.
I enjoyed it. It's not the sort of thing I'd watch again. It's probably not the sort of thing I'd remember a lot, but I did enjoy it for the most part.
What did we watch on Christmas Day? Did Gary, Doctor Who? Did that get on your radar?
I didn't get a chance to watch anything on Christmas Day because we.
But have you seen Doctor Who since?
I have seen.
That was the question, Gary.
Nobody asked what I saw on Christmas Day. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't watch it on Christmas Day. I watched it later.
Okay. What programmes did you watch that aired on Christmas Day? That you may not have seen on Christmas Day, but you saw later.
The one that aired the earliest is I saw Doctor Who.
Okay.
Well done,
talk about that.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I didn't like this at all.
The Doctor accidentally gives someone superpowers, visits him throughout his life, finds out that he's now working as a manny for sort of Lois Lane
Not
type.
another baby daddy.
Yeah. Working for a Lois Lane type reporter in New York, played by 2008's Charity Wakefield, if you remember her.
Who's also in the Halcyon.
Yeah. So she's having a comeback year 9 years after she became a rising star. Why did you think this was awful, Gary?
I know it was supposed to be a standalone, but there was still a lot of stuff that didn't get explained. I don't like the character that Matt, what's his face, is playing. Because it's supposed to be a robot, and it's not, and it doesn't... I don't know.
I'm Matt Lucas, I have to say. I
quite liked some good lines, but I just didn't... I don't really like that character.
It does look like Matt Lucas is staying on, judging by what they showed in the trailer, so...
That's fair enough, and it's fine, but I'm like... They treat the Christmas special as a standalone. And I think the problem with that is if it isn't a great plot, I'm not sure.
Although saying that, Gary,
that's just how I felt. I didn't like it.
No. I didn't. I wasn't a big fan of it either. But you say it's a standalone. They did give you the impression that they are carrying on with these aliens. Aside from like Matt Lucas and Peter Capaldi, the acting was all horrendous. All of the Justin Chadwick, I want to say.
I don't know, but I don't know whether I preferred him as a Manny or the ghost.
I thought the best bit was the sort of comedy lines Peter Capaldi had and his chemistry with Matt Lucas, and that was about it for me. I laughed a few times, but that was about it. I thought I several times I went, oh God, this is just poor.
This doesn't unfortunately give me much confidence for where they're going.
To be fair, this was Stephen Moffat's last episode. Chris Chibnall is taking over as of the series, so this was the last revenge of Stephen Moffat. I'm
handing over the baton, really, isn't it? So I'm not sure this companion is going to be to everybody's taste. She's very young again. There's going to be a lot of explanation. What is this?
Or is it going to be? But is it going to be a 3-parter with Matt Lucas as well, like a 3?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, how long is he going to stay in it? And again, it's going to be we can go anywhere in time. You're like, we're resetting again, which I know they have to do, and there are new fans all the time. So I'll give that.
Again, at the end of the day,
the Doctor regenerates.
At the end of the day, it is meant to be a kids show, and kids, she is like a sort of wide-eyed person, so she's almost like the proxy for the younger viewers.
She is, and we know from what they're doing that she's going to have a strong, prominent role in those first few episodes. So it'd be interesting to see. But no, not a big fan of the Christmas Doctor Who.
Well, you know why I feel like rubbish, as I've said, but there is one reason and one reason only why I'm here. We all want to know what you made of the Call the Midwife.
Yes, I was just going to go on to that, Luke.
Fantastic. Not the best thing I've watched over Christmas, but very much top 3.
Okay, well, perhaps we should do a top 3. So this would be
maybe this would probably be number 2.
It started at Christmas in London, then they went to Africa to help out at a mission that the head nun had recently died at, and there was a doctor who wasn't very well there, and they wanted to get a water supply in and just update everything really there because they were running on low supplies. So
I thought they brought the right characters with them. They wouldn't have been able to weave everybody into the storyline.
They can't take 2 redheads to Africa.
Absolutely.
They've only got so much sun cream.
They've only got so much sun cream. And I thought they dealt with the storylines out there very good. I think, I'm sure people have criticised the idea that, well, they're not all speaking African, and all of that. And I think...
But it was South Africa, and it's a very westernised...
Absolutely.
Right.
So I think, Call the Midwife has always been very historically accurate, but I think you have to remember it's also a television programme.
I love how he's now an expert on Call the Midwife. It's the best thing that's ever happened on the podcast. I love it.
I loved the storyline involving the man who lived in the local area who didn't want to let his family... I loved that slow reveal of...
Yeah, he didn't want the water supply... Yeah. Well, he didn't want... It wasn't the water so much as if they put it through his land, then they wouldn't take them as long to lay down the pipes.
Yeah, and the reason being is that he blamed the midwifery centre there for killing his only child and wife. Is that right? He kind of resented them. That's right. And I think Charlotte Ritchie's character was really good. I think she was definitely the star of it.
The engagement there that they didn't want to spoil ahead of time.
Well, that was the thing I was going to ask. That obviously was the thing they told you not to spoil.
Because they wanted it to be a nice Christmas surprise. And it did get a few teary eyes in the screening room that I went to.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're such a softie, Matt.
Yeah.
I know. And not just me, though. There was a few sniffles.
Was Luke there? Was cold?
Yeah. They did have... Minty as well came with them, didn't he, to provide some comedy.
But again, they explained that well. He was an engineer in the war.
Yeah.
So they explained that everybody that came had a logical reason for being there. So for me, that was a good reason to take them out of their normal environment, put them in a new situation. Everybody came for a reason.
Luke's question that he asked me was, do you think, should it have been over Christmas? Because it wasn't a Christmassy thing, it's all in Africa. Does a Christmas special have to be set at Christmas?
No, because it was a story that took them away from the main thing, which is what has worked very well for Christmas. The idea of when Only Fools and Horses used to go out to... Didn't Only Fools and Horses used to go to Torremolinos for Christmas or something? That was sometimes the Christmas special.
They've never
Miami.
been to
Miami.
I never said where they went to Miami. Not sometimes.
You don't always have to have Christmas in a Christmas episode. But I
First mention of Torremolinos on the podcast ever, I think.
Ever.
That's why I love this podcast. I know the answer to this, but you're in for the next lot then, when it arrives in February or late January or whenever it is.
Absolutely. And again, I can't honestly tell you exactly why, but it's good storytelling.
Because you're an enigma. You're an absolute enigma.
Well, no, but it's good storytelling. You just answered your own question.
So am I right in assuming that Maigret would be your number one show of Christmas?
Yes, Maigret would be number one.
I don't get... see, this I don't understand why you like...
well, you should do, because I like Endeavour. I like serious crime drama, where there is more than just... it's not simplistic. There has to be layers upon layers, and I think that did it brilliantly. Rowan Atkinson, I've got past the fact that he was anything else than this character. I don't have to see him as Mr. Bean or whatever. I think he does this character very well.
That would ruin it a bit if you did see him as Mr. Bean.
But I imagine that's the thing for somebody. I imagine some people probably think, "Oh, why is Mr. Bean in France?" The thing that
he did that on Mr. Bean's holiday, didn't he?
Oh, well, there you are. Yeah. I think for me, if you can suspend your belief of the fact that they're in France and not speaking French, if you can forget that, I think this is a thoroughly enjoyable show. I think this is beautifully written, layered. It's got a beginning, a middle, and end, as I say, which I thought was brilliant. And to me, as a fan of Maigret when it was on before, he's a crime fighter, but also he's a moral, person. And he's trying to install those morals on the corrupt part of Paris that he's working in.
Gary, will you watch Endeavour on Sunday Live or Sherlock on Sunday Live?
Neither, because I'll be watching the American football, so I'll record them both.
For God's sake. All right, for the sake of the question,
at that noise Gary made.
Well,
for the sake of the question, and I didn't.
If I had to choose,
if you weren't watching the American, you'd watch Sherlock.
If I was, because I've seen the first one, therefore I feel slightly more invested in.
So if you tape Endeavour, you can skip through the ads.
Same question to you, Matt. Which would you watch first?
I'll probably watch
you'll
Endeavour
watch them
on the
on the
previews.
Oh, for God's sake! For God's sake! Why am I even
Welcome
here?
to
Why do I
2017,
bother?
Luke. Yay!
To be honest
why-
with you, I
why
probably
would
won't
you
watch
brag?
again, like Gary, I probably won't watch either when it's on. I'll probably watch Endeavour beforehand and probably watch
He's
Sherlock.
coming around to watch the American football, Luke. Do you want to join us?
yeah, I'm going around to Gary's.
Have you told your friends about this podcast?
Okay, here we go.
No?
It's just not my idea of a good time.
Tell them now.
That's what the people want to hear.
This is the Custard TV Podcast.
Good to the last drop.
From thecustardtv.com.
Should we quickly talk about Last Tango in Halifax?
Yeah, two-parter. Everybody was back, plus some new people as well, on over 2 nights on Christmas week. Matt hadn't seen it when we did our Christmas podcast. It might seem like, for those of us who had seen it, it was on a long time ago, but I wanted to just say how much I enjoyed it. Yes, it was a bit daft in places, a bit silly, but I think the characters are wonderful and it's got its heart exactly in the right place. It made me laugh a few times. It's just really warm and very easy to watch, and I don't know whether we're getting more. It's kind of
It
up in
felt
the air.
like a bridge between
Didn't it?
Because there was bits like, oh, we're starting anew, Dean Andrews is leaving, Caroline's got this new job, it's Alan and Celia.
Yes.
They were very much in the background. They had almost like the comedy plot, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, with all the on-stage and
All
the
the-
dramatic stuff. I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think when a show's been away for that long, you think, am I going to be as invested again? But Sally has this amazing gift of just placing you back in the world like you never left it, and I don't know how she does it and how she manipulates my feelings that way, but it does seem to work. And I feel
Could
like
have done without Tony Gardner and Ronnie Ancona.
Though that's always the way. Right from the word go, I was like that with them.
Can I give some feedback on this show from my parents?
Yes.
Well,
Fans-
have you just spoken to them?
I didn't know they were on the phone. Get them on if
No,
they're here.
No, they told me this beforehand. They watched it, and I said, "Oh, I didn't realise you liked that." I said, "Oh, yeah, we've liked all the series." Didn't enjoy the Ouija board storyline. Didn't watch the second episode.
Weird. They're as weird as you are.
You are very much your parents' child, aren't you,
Yes.
Gary?
You're right.
No, they said, well, once they saw the preview, they don't like Ouija boards, so they didn't watch it. And I thought it was a strange storyline for that show.
That is Gary encapsulated in a sentence. No more mystery there at all. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Ouija boards and all, I thought it was brilliant. And on to something else that I know Gary hasn't seen, and it links in Derek Jacobi, and that
I was just going to do that.
Oh,
Inside
we're
number
so
9.
on board. Inside
Who's
number 9.
leading the reviews this
Nobody
week?
knows.
On the surface, this looked like another sort of creepy, macabre Inside Number 9, where they were like it was a family who'd gone away for Christmas to a ski lodge. There was a creepy tour guide who was telling them about Krampus. Gradually, you learned that this was actually a TV, a TV horror, an episode of like a TV horror series, say like a Tales of the Unexpected, that was being commented on by the director, who was played by Derek Jacobi, who you only sort of heard via voice talking to someone else about this episode, and you weren't quite sure why until the end.
I presumed it was like a DVD commentary.
Yeah, so did I. That's what you meant to do. And you got little cuts between the scenes. You got to see like these things that were out of place, the continuity errors. You heard sort of backstory about the performers and things like that. Rula Lenska was very good.
That's good. I mean, the last thing I saw her in, she was pretending to be a cat. So
Yeah, Celebrity Big Brother.
I didn't watch this live. I watched it a few days later, and everybody had been saying, "Wow, that ending, that twist." But I was kind of just, let's see what the end is, and the end was stunning. But I kind of
And it
wish
was
Gary had seen
it was
this.
so underplayed as well. It was so just, this is the ending. Get out.
Get out, we're done. See you next year. I do think Inside Number 9 is a show that Gary would like, and I don't know why he doesn't watch it. It's amazing.
No, I must admit, it's one of those kind of things. Like, I feel it's gone too far now. So
It's not.
No!
They're all one-offs, Gary. So you don't have to
They're
watch
different.
one to get the.
I know that.
Well, don't give a silly excuse like that then, please, because that's
No,
not a good enough reason.
I thought that, and now it's. Shut up.
Outnumbered quickly, watched this with family and other friends on Boxing Day night. We didn't laugh a ton, but I enjoyed it.
It didn't feel like Outnumbered. I liked it. I enjoyed it. the basic plot was that they are trying to scatter